How are y'all doing?
Good.
Good. Degrees of, where is this? Degrees of friendship. Apparently there is such a thing. So naturally it behooves me to find out more. Contrary to popular belief, knowing is not the key to happiness. And more often than not, ignorance is. Although ignorance is bliss is a very common phrase, we don't always use it where it's necessary. Let me show you how it's done. Don't get me wrong, I understand what degrees of friendship is, and I understand the reason why people need demarcations to be able to categorize their connections. And I perceive it too. When I'm subjected to the degrees of friendship, I perceive it, but I perceive it a little differently, in that I ignore it completely. Hence, ignorance is bliss. See, once I don't know what my degree of friendship is with people, I'm very happy. So when a friend reintroduced me to this topic that was personally obsolete, I wasn't, welcoming of the topic. That was like, all right, you know what? But then, still, it is important for me to find out what it was. So the reason and the way I find out about things is I do some research, but more importantly, I write about it. I explore the concept. And when I do that, and when I found out that people seek simplicity, and that's why they kind of categorize their interactions, and that's why they have, my close friends, my closer friends, and my not so close friends. And I seek simplicity too, by the way. And this is how I do it. The first, the first category that I have is acquaintances, and the second one is friends. My acquaintances enjoy the luxury of my disinterest in their lives, and not because I'm not interested in them personally, but it's more of the limited nature of my expendable resources, namely time and effort. However, my friends, on the other hand, do not enjoy this luxury. I am, in sort, responsible for their well-being. As a friend, I just don't wish well for my friends. I actually make efforts for them to be well as well. And that is my definition of friendship. And I think we are limiting ourselves when there's no need to limit ourselves. And that's kind of why I wanted to write about degrees of friendship, because the limitations that when we put the word degrees in front of things, and when I say that you're my close friend and I'm going to do a lot more for you than I would do for somebody else, that does injustice to the noble concept of friendship. And how can I address it? Because it is very simple, that what does somebody being my friend have to do with my ability to be able to feed them when they're hungry? Does that make sense? If somebody is hungry and if I can feed them, I shouldn't look for what and how I'm associated with it. And that is my point today, is I am personally going to let the circumstances define my level of contribution toward that person or that situation, rather than any of the definitions of degrees of friendship. And that is how I can look at this particular interaction that I have in a much more equitable fashion, because what am I missing here? I don't know. Yeah, I got it. So there is a wonderful opportunity, which is the shining moment of the human experience, where one person's need is met by another person stepping up to that need and being a friend and being that shining moment where every need is met by another person standing up for it. And that is why I have to personally choose to opt out of these degrees of friendship, is because I don't think my level of contribution to do something outward and my association with people are always going hand in hand. They may go hand in hand, but that cannot be the only rule that it should be done, because it does injustice to the concept as noble as friendship. And And I have a small idea behind it. And lucky enough for me, because I write songs, 25th song of mine is when I explored the concept of friendship, and that's when I found out what it was. Fear leads to greed, greed leads to hate, hate leads to violence, violence makes us enemies. We could be friends who could be living in peace. I'm saying our fear turns us into enemies. Friendship is the hope the world has got, without which the world is lost. Friendship is the heart of life. Hey, hey, friendship is the hope the world has got, without which the world is lost. Friendship is the heart of life. Hey, hey. And that is my definition of friendship, and I hope I reached all the right notes with my vocal variety, not just with my vocals, but with my message. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr.